Next speaker is Jeremy Moskovitz from Voyager Global.
Hi, thank you. Hi, Commissioner. And we also want to echo our thanks to Councilmember Farias. We were glad to introduce her to many of our drivers as she was learning more about the industry and figuring out how we can get more money in the pockets of drivers. We're very excited about introducing advertising into TLC vehicles. We want additional ways for New York City TLC drivers to earn revenue. We love the 25% gross revenue that is mandated in the law. Our main concern is that there's parts of this legislation that feel over legislated and parts that are overly vague. For example, the fact that a lessor, we're actually a rental company. We're the largest weekly, no strings attached rental for TLC drivers. We play an important role in this industry. We have more than 4,000 well-maintained new vehicles, the newest fleet in the city, whether that's for people who can't afford or don't want to own their own vehicle, the burden of owning their own vehicle, or your car is in an accident and is in the shop for 2 months or 6 months. And the way these rules are written, on one hand, it sort of cuts our vehicles out and makes it logistically impossible for us to offer or work with advertising companies to have these in our cars so that the money can go directly to drivers. It's very difficult to maintain tablets, or for example, the best advertising is probably in headrest, like built into the headrest. We're a fleet that could do that with 4,000 of our cars, and the weekly contracts and everything that we have with our drivers, they could be paid directly. Like the data can be there. You can rent a car on a Wednesday, return it 2 Thursdays later, you're paid for that amount of days, right? And it can't work if an advertiser has to pay someone for a month if they only rented the car for 2 weeks. Specifically, there's a part of the rules that mention that a lessor, I think you would count us as a lessor, even though we are renting, a rentor, cannot charge any fee or collect any fee. I'm not talking about charging fees to the drivers. The drivers pay enough fees to us and to the city and to the MTA and to all the nice little fees that are added to the trips. I'm talking about if that rule is very vague. If you're implying that we can't have any fee from the people who own the tablets or the advertising companies to actually manage those or put them in our cars, I think you're cutting out a huge part of the industry, or you're putting that burden fully on the advertisers or on us, and it's just not going to work and it's not going to happen. And so those drivers who do want to rent or who need to rent are essentially going to be cut out of the more lucrative advertising deals with the advertisers that are going to generate the most money. This only works, it's gross revenue, it's not a minimum fee. It only works with the good advertisers, to be blunt, that are able to leverage the data and get the most ad revenue into that tablet. And so if they're not able to work with partners like us or even other creative ideas, like, I don't know, our friends at the IDG being able to have a partnership and connect to drivers in tablets if you're an IDG member, whatever it is, it feels like these rules are, on one hand, over legislating and cutting out creativity to get more money into the hands of drivers, and then at the same time vague enough where we could get in a lot of trouble, if depending on how you interpret the rules and how we interpret the rules, of trying to actually, again, get more money in the hands of drivers. So that's our main concern with these rules.
Your time has expired. Thank you for your testimony.
Perfect timing.
Thank you, Jeremy. So what are you specifically asking the commission to incorporate?
The main rule, I forget the line number, but there's a specific clause that says lessors cannot receive any fee from the advertisers or from the advertising revenue. I don't know what you define as from the advertisers or advertising revenue to manage or put these tablets into our car.
So you want to be able to strike a deal with the new entrants into this market, the advertisers that enter into this market?
Yeah, again, not actually for us to get a cut of the revenue. The drivers are getting 25, or maybe with us, if it's a better advert, maybe they can get a deal for 30%.
So drivers would get all the money they're entitled to.
Totally.
And your deal would be with the advertisers alone.
Correct. We can also help facilitate how long the drivers are in the car, getting the money directly to them, however they want to be paid by the advertiser if they're in our vehicles or, again, other rental fleets. I think there's about 20, 30,000 rental cars.
Commissioners?
Yeah.
And just a clarification, you mentioned that you would not be able to do the tablets, but that you would do, you thought that putting something in the back, like, is that an issue for, are you not able to do that? And that would be the only alternative? Is that the thing?
No, sorry, we could do tablets.
Okay.
We could also we've spoken, people have come to us and there's actual in-headrest ones, which are more durable. They're not going to break, etc.
Okay, I just wanted to
But no,
clarify that.
we can do anything.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you,
Yeah, of
Jeremy. I
Thank you,
appreciate it.
guys.